I messed up. So throughout the video you'll see me refer to next week with Gabe versus Rampage, because somewhere in translation I missed that it was Gabe versus Creator. So you'll hear that a lot. Bye. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan and you're watching my World of Sport Wrestling review, week 2. Kicking us off this week, we had a WS Championship match between Rampage and Joe Hendry. So I've seen both these men live several times and they're both really good. So seeing them clash in a championship match on TV, it was something amazing. The match really showed both men's power styles, but it really got across Joe Hendry's amateur wrestling style. The thing is, nobody cares about Joe Hendry. It's all about Rampage. He is the champion. He won it last week. Rampage is a beast. Rampage is a machine. Him, Shea Samuels, CJ Banks, all amazing. This match was all about proving the dominance of the group. Rampage looked really strong. Joe Hendry threw up to the back of the line. Go and deal with Martin Kirby, because this is Rampage's time, and he is the future of wrestling. He's the future of World of Sport Wrestling. He is British wrestling. So yeah, overall the match was really good. Both men looked really strong, and Joe looks good going into his rivalry match with Martin Kirby next week. And Rampage has the championship match against Gabriel Kidd, but we'll get to how that came to be later on in the review. So the next match of the night was the four-way ladder match between Gabriel Kidd, Robbie X, Lionheart and Liam Slater. Usually with ladder matches you'd see them go on for 20-30 minutes, but with the layout of World of Sport Wrestling, this one was only restricted to the 10 minutes of its slot. And for the time it had, it was a really good match. There was lots of action. Robbie X looked really good. Lots of out of this world moves. He really proved himself in this match. Liam Slater wasn't really in the match too much, which was upsetting. Lionheart, for someone of his veteran level and experience, had a really good showing in this match, especially, as was said on commentary, that he almost didn't have a career to continue on with, but now he's in World of Sport Wrestling, showing the world what he's made of. And then there was the victor, Gabriel Kidd. I've met Gabriel, I've seen Gabriel live a few times, and for somebody who I believe is younger than me, he's really talented in the ring. His past is more impressive than my future, so his future's way up high. Way up high. And yeah, it was a fun ladder match. I look forward to seeing any more ladder matches that come with World Sport Wrestling. And I look forward to seeing all four men and where they go, and especially next week with Gabriel Kidd's title match against Rampage. That'll be a real interesting match. So you've seen me talk to myself, you've seen me on top of a ladder. Now for this next match, I just want me to talk to you. So the next match of the show was another first round match in the Tag Team Championship tournament. It saw the Bromans, which is Adam Maxted and Nathan Cruz, taking on the unusual team of Doug Williams and HT Drake. Now, I've seen a good few of all four of these men. All are really good. And the tag match showed that, like, between them all. You had good chemistry between the Bromans, as well as good chemistry between the unusual pairing of HT Drake and Doug. Now, Doug is quite literally a British legend. He's been seen in TNA, he's been seen everywhere. Like, there is not too many people more famous in the British wrestling scene than Doug Williams. And having him in this match really upped its prestige. And seeing him all these years of wrestling, and he still doesn't lose a beat. He's got all these young guys. He's got these two young guys that he's against in Cruz and Maxted. But yet he seemed to not miss a beat whatsoever. Now, the chemistry in between both teams against each other was really well done. Other than a bit of a mishap towards the end between the Bromans. But I'm pretty sure that there'll be no fallout with that. It was one little mistake, but the bromance, they're in love, and that is beautiful, and nothing can get in the way of that love. The only thing that's in their line of sight is those tag team championships, and I can't wait to see them get there. The combination of Doug Williams versus Nathan Cruz worked really well. It could easily be a singles match all over the world, and it'd be 5 stars in another kind of rating world. Yeah, like, this tag match showed both teams really well. I was expecting between Drake and Doug a bit of a Martin Kirby, Joe Hendry situation, but that wasn't there whatsoever. They worked really well together, but tonight was not their night. But hopefully somewhere in the future we'll see them take those championships. The main event this week saw 3 women facing off to crown the first ever WS Women's Champion. Those 3 women were Viper, Bea Priestley and Kaylee Ray. Now in the beginning of the match it was Viper proving that she is a powerhouse. Like, neither Bea or Kaylee Ray, who did work together, couldn't get in any offense against Viper. Now as the match went on, Viper just dominated the match, but neither Kaylee Ray or Bea stayed down, proving that they are resilient and nothing can stop them. Once the women were able to get Viper down and it became Bea Priestley versus Kaylee Ray, both women just went at each other, both scratching and clawing for that championship. But Viper, although she was out of the ring, she was never really out of the match, and she'd come back in and she'd prove again that she is the dominant powerhouse that she is. But once Kaylee Ray and Bea Priestley got their momentum going, there was no slowing down for all 3 of the women. There was some high impact moves such as the powerbomb to the outside and the turnbuckle corner double stomp. All 3 women went out there to prove a point, and they proved that point plus more, showing that women are just as good, if not better than the men, and they deserve wrestling and they deserve these main event type matches, because back in the day, 10 years ago even, women just weren't accepted in wrestling, whereas now it's becoming more in the light, and tonight's main event really proved that with these 3 women going at each other, not holding back anything, and just putting on a great show. Now the end of the match saw Kaylee Ray take the victory, and she will be going into the rest of WS Wrestling starting as the first ever women's champion, which is a really big deal, and I couldn't have thought of somebody better than any of these 3 women to have such a spot. And Kaylee Ray will probably keep that championship for a really long time, because if she can beat Bea Priestley, if she can beat Viper, there's not too many people that will be able to beat her that she won't be able to beat. And I look forward to the next 8 weeks and seeing where all 3 women go and what happens with the championship. And hopefully we get more main events with the women, because last night really proved that they deserved it. So now next week we have a WOS Championship match between Rampage and Gabriel Kidd, which was his reward for winning the ladder match. And then we have Martin Kirby versus Joe Hendry, where hopefully Joe will just crush Martin for leaving him hanging last week. So hopefully I'll see you again next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment, because this is where we're at now. This is WS, this is RyanTheBroski, and I will see you maybe not at the same time, probably not the same day, but I will most definitely see you next week.